Welcome back, everybody. Time in the WHIP studios is 11:35, a celebratory Monday as it's Aac Gelb and Mike Zahn here with you as the Temple Owls are going dancing to the NCAA tournament. They'll play on Friday at 3:15 up against Iowa. We'll be here right on the call with WHIP, all brought to you by iHeartRadio. Make sure you download the iHeartRadio application today on your mobile devices and tablets. And now joining us is a senior player for the Temple Owls whose career will end in the NCAA tournament the right way, and that is Devin Coleman. Devin, Zach, and Mike, thanks for a few minutes, and how are you?
I'm great. No problem. Thank you guys for having me.
Little better feeling this year than last year, I would say?
Definitely a better feeling this year than last year. Last year was pretty disappointing, but I think coming into it this year, I think we felt as though we had a better chance of getting in.
So take me inside the room, because we were watching in Orlando because we thought you guys would be playing on Sunday, so we were there an extra day, and we're sitting there, and I felt pretty confident. I thought you guys would be in, maybe be in the playing game, but I thought you would at least be in the tournament. Take me inside the room when you guys were watching. I think I saw some City View pizza and all that stuff as you guys were getting ready for the selection show, and then when your name was called, the reaction from the players.
Yeah, well, even to go before that, Coach came in. He was pretty upset about the loss the day before, so we watched some film on that. And, he got all his final thoughts out about that. And then they brought some food in for us, so because the show was, I think it was 2 hours, so we didn't know how long we would be there waiting. Thankfully, we got called toward the beginning of the show. But the reaction was just relief, man. After going through what we went through last year with the whole situation, it was a big, big, big relief just to hear our names called, especially early in the show, so we didn't have to sit there and let the anxiety build up or anything like that. It was just excitement, relief, and joy pretty much, just happy to just know that we have another opportunity to play on that big stage and, make some noise.
And you guys really built your resume as the season progressed, because you started off with a really tough start to the schedule, going up against UNC in the first game, and you didn't have Obi in that matchup. And then in January, if people were to ask me if Temple was going to the NCAA tournament, you probably would have said no. And then you guys just dominated the American Athletic Conference. At the end of the regular season, you were American Athletic Conference champions, and you beat every single team in the American. What adjustments did you guys make in conference play? Because that's when we saw the best of the Temple Owls.
I really don't know, to be honest. I don't think that there was a point in time where we made any huge adjustments. I think we just hit our stride. I think it was good for us early in the season to play a high caliber of team like UNC, and then we went to Puerto Rico and we had Butler and Utah. So, playing those type of teams early, you just gain a lot of experience. You see some things that you can do and things that you can't do, stuff you can get away with. And we took all of that going into conference play. And, like I said, I think we just hit our stride at the right time.
And so we're talking to the senior guard for the Temple Owls, and Devin Coleman. And Devin, even though you are a senior guard, this is your second year with the Temple Owls, your first full season with the Temple Owls. In those 2 seasons, Fran Dunphy was named Aac Coach of the Year. Just what does that mean to you that both years you're here, he's Coach of the Year? What do you think of Coach?
He's a great coach. I think everybody in this area knows that, obviously, with his history at Penn and then coming here to Temple. He's a great coach. I'm honored to say that I had a part in him being awarded that award for 2 consecutive years. But, I think what he's done with the team the 2 years that I was here has spoken for itself. I don't think either year we were projected to finish where we finished within the conference standings. I think this year we were 6th or 7th, and to end up, being the outright champs of the regular season is great, and that's all a testament to him and his coaching.
Does Coach use that as any bulletin board material and, bring you in the beginning of the year? Obviously, your first matchup was against UNC, and say, hey, people are looking at us to be 6th in the conference. Obviously, UNC is an out-of-conference game. But, does he bring you guys in and say, listen, this is what the experts are saying, or do you just block out all the noise and just say, you know what, we're going to worry about Temple, and that's all we can do. We control our own destiny.
Yeah, I don't remember particularly him bringing any of that in as, bulletin board material or anything like that. But, just us being kids and being on Twitter and all that, we see all of that stuff. So we knew it, but he didn't bring it in or anything. And, we used that as motivation. We know, or coming into the season, we knew that a lot of people didn't have high expectations for us, but that's just motivation. We're already going to work hard and everything like that. And with a great coaching staff behind us, we have the tools that we need to exceed those expectations and fulfill the expectations that we have for ourselves. And I think that we've done a good job of doing that thus far, and hopefully we can continue that on Friday.
Now, you personally as a player, you're a streaky shooter. You like to shoot the 3-point shot, and sometimes they go in, sometimes they don't. When you are down, you as a team, obviously the Temple Owls are down by 9-10 points. Do you feel a certain amount of pressure that you need to will the team back and hit 2 to 3 threes to really get the team back on track?
I think at times we all do, and I think that is when we don't play our best basketball. Many of the times when we were down in those situations, we had a lot of come from behind wins this year. Many of the times when we huddle up, we say that we got to stay together, we got to do it together, because we have to understand that there is no 9-point shot or no 10-point shot, and no one man is going to be able to, to do it on his own. So, I think the more that we can stay away from that mindset that someone has to take over and be the guy to hit the shot, then the better off that we are.
Your brilliance on the court in that SMU game really put Temple on the map for this season and caught people's attention nationally when you were 8 of 8. You may have been shooting in that game with the golf ball, because you just saw the rim, and it must have been like 100 yards to you because you were hitting everything that you threw up that day. What explanation do you have for the way that you shot that day up against SMU?
There's no explanation. I'm
just a good basketball player.
It happens, man. It happens. Players get in the zone, and it's hard to miss. I've seen it plenty of times. I'm sure there's been guys that have had games like that against us. I can't recall any at the moment, but just watching basketball throughout my years, I've seen plenty of guys have games that way. And you just feeling it at that particular time, and the ball is going in. You feel good. And that's pretty much all there was to it. Some of those shots were terrible shots, and I probably shouldn't have shot them. But, at that time, that how I was feeling, and just the fact that I had seen 4 or 5 go in already, it just builds your confidence as you go on.
Let's get to that UConn game over the weekend. You guys go out there, have a nice blowout win up against USF. Then you play UConn, who was just on one of those typical UConn March runs, and momentum, everything is going their way. You guys got out to a quick start. 12-4, you were up. Obi hit a big 3 early. What happened after that 12-4 start? Because that's when UConn really seized the opportunity and won the game.
Yeah, for us, I'm not exactly sure what happened. For them, I'm sure they went back to their huddle after that timeout, and Coach Ollie probably got into them a little bit and, juiced them up. At first it kind of seemed to me that they were playing a little too amped up, or a little jittery. But, excuse me, as the game went on, they kind of settled in, and, it's hard to beat a good team 3 times in a row, But, we don't want to use that as an excuse. They outplayed us, and, they were able to come out with a win. They had more energy. They played tougher. They made some tough shots, and, we gave them some shots that we can't allow.
Devin Coleman is here with us in studio, and he's got to run in a bit because he's got to get to class. Yes, basketball players go to class, and they do a pretty darn good job at it if you look at the GPAs. But I have to ask you this. Right now, you're in the tournament. Everyone's feeling great, but you don't want to lose in the first round. You want to go out there and beat Iowa. Tell me some things that you really like about this team right now, and some things that you need to improve on before you take up against this Iowa squad.
I like a lot about our team. I think that guys come in and they play their roles, to the best of their abilities. But I think the one thing that we do have to improve on is putting ourselves in these holes. I know many times throughout conference play we've found ourselves having to come back in the second half, or at certain points in the game, and I don't think that that's something that we want to continue to do. Although we have had some success with it, you don't want to put yourself in that position too many times, because it's not always going to be something that you can recover from. And that UConn game, the last game, was a testament to that. It's good to be able to do it, but it's not something that you want to have to do on a consistent basis. So if there's one thing that we could change, in my opinion, it would definitely be that. We have to play consistently throughout the game. We can't let ourselves, hit those valleys where we're down and we're not getting stops and the other team is scoring. We look up and we're down 12 with 5 minutes to go or something like that. I think it'll just be better for us to try to play consistently throughout the game, keep it close or hopefully be up and not have to, battle from a deficit.
And how hard is it to get ready for a game against an Iowa team? Obviously, they were ranked pretty high for the majority of the year. And then on the flip side, you just come off of all these American games for the most part. Obviously, there was that Villanova game in the middle of your conference schedule. But is it a little difficult to face an out-of-conference team after seeing teams so constantly, the same couple, 8 and 9 teams over and over and over again, and now you have to face an Iowa team that plays a completely different style of basketball?
I don't think that it will be. Our coaching staff does a great job of, getting us film of the other teams and just their scouting, and our preparation for every team is great. So, I don't think that part of it will be hard. I'm sure the game will be hard. They're a good team, so it's going to be difficult. But as far as our preparation goes, I think we'll be very ready to go on Friday.
Coach Dunphy very well, obviously, and even when you have a perfect game, he'll find a way to critique something to make you better. Mm-hmm. What did Coach say to you guys last night when you got into the NCAA tournament?
He didn't say too much, actually. Like I said, before the selection show, he got into us about the loss. After we heard our name called, he came in, and he said that he was thankful that we were able to make it back to the tournament. We have a banner in our practice facility with all of the years that Temple has made the tournament, and he said that it really irked him that the last 2 years we weren't able to put that up there, and he said that he was happy that we'd be able to put 2016 up there. And outside of that, just go get some rest and get ready to come in tomorrow and work.
You're a local kid, and you went to Clemson, and then you transferred back to Temple. Just when you made that decision to come back home, what factored into that, and what made Temple such an attractive option?
A lot factored into it, obviously, just, with it being home, my family, my friends, being able to be around them as much as possible is a huge thing, especially my mom and my sister. But as far as Temple goes, I think Temple was really the only place that I wanted to be when I came back. Out of the Philly schools that recruited me initially, I probably had the best relationship with Temple, Coach Dunph, Coach Trice. And it was Jalen was already here, Jesse was already here, guys that I had known for years. Me and Jalen have been playing together since.
He was telling us about your AAU team. When you guys were like 99-1. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist was on it. I would not want to play you guys when I was growing up as a kid.
No, we had a remarkable team. Very hard to beat, but that one game, that's the one that counted. It was very disappointing. But so it was already like a built-in. Family here for me, just already having those relationships. So it wasn't too difficult of a choice when I decided to leave Clemson.
Now, last one before we let Devin Coleman run, as he'll be playing in the NCAA tournament on Friday. You have only a few more games left, maybe only one more game left. If things don't go well on Friday, what does Devin Coleman want to prove in the NCAA tournament when he leaves Temple University?
Personally?
Yes.
I just want to win, man. It's not about me at all. I'm a senior, and it would be nice for me to play great, but if that doesn't happen, as long as we win, I'm happy. Survive to play another day, then I have another opportunity to play well. I just want to help the team win, whatever that may be. If I gotta, maybe I'll go out there and have another game like SMU, but maybe not. Maybe I'll have 10, 15 rebounds. If that's what the situation calls for, then that's what I want to do.
I don't know how you'll focus in class coming up in 10 minutes because we're broadcasting the game, and I won't focus in any of my classes this week. But best of luck, and have some fun out there on Friday.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
There is Devin Coleman. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back.